We're back. 2023. What's up, y'all? I want to give a shout out to everybody who stuck with me during this year downtime where I wasn't recording, but I'm back. And today I'm going to be pulling the turbo off of this Mark V. Big turbo upgrade incoming. Tools needed for the turbo removal. I suggest having a little small pry bar. Definitely that. If not, some flatheads, but you're gonna need a T45, a T30, 10mm wrench, 10mm sockets for the 3/8 and the 1/4 inch, 12mm sockets or socket. This deep well 13, that's for the down pipe. To get it loose. I needed that for the strut bar, but of course your ratchets to go with your 3/8 and 1/2 inch. Do you need a nut driver with a T30 or a T20 on it? You don't, but it comes in handy when you don't want to kind of fumble with a ratchet. I was able to use it there, wastegate, and a couple other places. Alright, so the first thing I think I want to do after I checked out the video from Keys Performance, shout out to them for giving a very thorough walkthrough of how to remove the turbo. But for me, what I'm going to do, since most of it can be done from up top, I'll jack the card when I need to. But I'm gonna start with my electrical connection, so I'm gonna take this one loose, try to get those from the electronic wastegate, and I think it's one more or two more down there. Next up, I know I got to remove the engine cover. I got to put that cover off to the side. The ECU is already out and shipped off. That's what I can remember right now for up top. Maybe some JB4 stuff I need to move, but strut bar, I'm finna loosen this there and there and there, and just flip it up to the side. I may just go ahead and just take it loose fully from right here, then just move that side up versus having that hanging. Then the intake, it has to come out, so I'll get that loose. This hose I know has to come off, so I'm gonna work through that. I ain't got to touch that O2 sensor, and I got to get the V-band clamp off. Those things that I remember right offhand. I'm not quite sure if this one is a 2-port or a 6-port, but I believe it's a 6-port motor. But either way, process doesn't change. It just means I have more bolts to take off once I get down to that area. All right, so intake is out, charge pipe is out. Remove a couple of PCV hoses. One here, the one that goes from right here down to there. So a 3-way. Our electrical connections are done. Probably finna do this down pipe next, since that's pretty easy. And then I will get to this one and the rest of them that's down here, and the turbo support, which I know is somewhere right in this area. Yep, got my hand on it right there. So I'm going to get that next. Tools you're pretty much gonna need. So far I've needed a 12, some hex keys and Torx bits. It is a BMW, that's what they use. That's what you'll be using the majority of this job. Okay, y'all, I'm trying to get at these Torx bits that supports the turbo. Proving to be a little difficult, but I'm gonna put the camera down now to show y'all what I'm talking about. And he says a T45 video, so I'm trying to find it, try to get lined up. See this support bracket, and that's 1, and that's 2. All right, got both bolts out. Bit of a workout, especially trying to do it from the top. I'd suggest go down bottom, put your tool in, come back up top and loosen it. Next up for me, probably gonna work on the oil lines and this heat shielding. Gotta move that out of the way so I can get at these bolts for this 6-port. Okay, so the first of the oil and water lines I'm going to get to. See that silver one? We're gonna follow that up to right there at the bottom of the pump, just a C clip. Let me pop it. All right, got it loose. As you can see, lucky for me, the car hasn't ran in a few days, so not much coolant came out. I'm going to leave the little bowl there. All right, so the next thing I did for that water line was come down here, break that bolt loose. It is a T30. The proper torque for it to put it back is 8 Newton meters. For me and most people, that's snug it with your wrist. It wasn't hard to break loose, so you can, if you don't have a small inch pound torque wrench, not a foot pound, an inch pound torque wrench. Just tighten it with a regular screwdriver. I'll show you what I use. That's simply what I use to break it loose. Stuck 2 hands down there, got it cracked loose. 1 hand took it the rest of the way. Okay, next up with this oil line, same T30, 8 Newton meters. I assume it's the same for that one. It's really not tight. This time I just tested it. Even with my weak hand, my left hand, I was able to simply break the bolt loose. Now, see, I got microfiber just to catch the oil. Lean it back and forth and pull. And it should pretty much come out. Okay, a little more oil than I thought, but still not much, so that is out. Had the microfiber there to catch. I'm gonna leave it there, it's dripping a little. So that's that one. Next will be a coolant line. Also, I want to note that the bolts are the same, so even if you mix them up, they're the same. All right, just to show it to you from the top. See, that's 1, then that's 2. So you can see that's the O2 sensor. It's like to the right, well, really to the left of it. Well, to the right of it, my bad. To the right of it. Slide to the left, you'll see the other. So that's where it's at from the top. It's actually easier to show you from the top than the bottom. But then you follow it past the manifold, and it goes into the turbo somewhere back there. All right, next up is the oil drain. Show y'all that. T30, and I got the other T30. You can just take loose the lower one. I can actually kind of see it from up top. See, can I get the angle on camera so you can see what I see? Pretty much be that angle right there. Okay, here's the next big difference from the 2-port cars to the 6-port. Is got this exhaust shield here. So this is a 13, so I got 1, 2, follow it back, 3, Then there's another one right back here. Can't quite see it on camera, but I know it's one back there from looking under the bottom. Guessing about 6 bolts, I think. Maybe just 4. Yeah, I think it's just 4. Let me go ahead and get those out to remove this heat shielding. And pretty sure that's a T30 there. I'm gonna check the other back end and see if it's one line there. I don't see anything on camera. But remove that. Probably could get at the bolts. Yeah, I think I could, but I think it'll just be much easier to remove this. Won't take long. Alright, I got all of the top bolts off, the heat shield. And you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 across the top. And it's these, like a washer built in, and they're 10mm. Take all those off. Now I'm finna get to the bottom. I've taken one out right here, but as you can see, not much room to get past that one with the line, so I'm gonna have to play with it, try to line it up and get it in there, and get that loose. And of course, you can see right down the line. Hopefully it's not much of an issue getting past that line, but I see now I have room. If not, I'll switch to a smaller socket and I should be able to get in there, but I'm trying to get in there with my 3/8 and continue on to finish getting it out. Alright, this is the sucky part about the 6-port. That exhaust bolt sucks to get to. Why? Because you can see, all feed line comes up, blocks. Looks as if you can get through there, but you cannot. What I had to do is take a wrench and get to it. They're all 10mm. Got that one out already. So if I was telling you all to take it out, I'll start with this front one, skip that one, do some right below there. You can get it out. I had to use a 1/4 inch. They're not torqued very tight, so it's very easy to break with a 1/4 inch, so don't worry there. It's probably gonna get hung up on this expansion joint. Just take it, wobble it left to right, and it'll go ahead and come out. This one was straightforward out. That one straightforward out. Of course, that one was straightforward and out. So you can see I got all of those out with no problem. But this guy here, wrench time. And they're not short bolts. Not short at all. So let me finish that one. Then next I'll be pulling the turbo out. Then I got to strip everything off of this turbo that we're going to keep, and that'll be it. Send this one off. Then when the other one, when the big turbo come back, then I'll be back to install. All right. As for the turbo tear down, everything is straightforward. I'm not sure what side. I know this is T30, which would be that. I'm not sure about the ones that hold the wastegate in, but I know there's a smaller one. I think it's a T20, but you take those 4 off, probably 8 Newton meters of torque. The only thing that's difficult is this sucker, which you'll see, it'll be there, kind of locked in. If you take a pair of pliers and squeeze it, you'll notice it, and you just kind of work it forward. So you get it out of that area, and then eventually you'll just be able to pull it straight out. And that's pretty much it for stripping down your turbo. All right, y'all. So that's definitely easier with the downpipe out and out the way, but the next problem is holding the turbo up. I just can't figure out a way to do it by myself. I got one more thing I'm about to try, and what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take this, loosely mount it, and then try to take the turbo, get it up and above, and slide it down like it slides in there. That shouldn't mess up the gasket, but I'm gonna try it. See, can I get the gasket to lock in? That's where it will actually go. So it actually be like this. So to slide down right there, and that'll put the pressure on it. While it's in there, it's gonna bolt just like that, and that should keep the pressure on it. So I'm gonna try that, let y'all know how that works. If that doesn't work, I got a friend on the way to help anyway. So either method is gonna work, but I'm getting this done today. All right, just so y'all can see, you can really see it at that first one, how much gap I have. So I'm gonna try to pick it up, slide it down in there. Hopefully I can hook it that way. Otherwise, like I said before, I gotta phone a friend and get a set of hands, cause it's just too heavy to try to hold up, grab that bottom rail, put a screw in. I just need more hands. There's no way that you can do it by yourself. Unless the motor was out the car and you had it on a motor stand, you could just rock it to the side and just lay it up there. But not that fortunate. So let's try it. As y'all can see, it work. It's in there and it's holding. So I'm gonna go ahead and put the rest of the bolts across the bottom. Snug those up. Remove that little piece of double-sided tape that I told you all about. That you can see right above my finger. Might not look like much, but that's the double-sided tape to hold the gasket up. I'm gonna look up and down the gasket surface, make sure everything is in place and not caught. Snug it up. Okay, y'all. I've put both rails on. Something I want to point out and note is you don't want to tighten the lower rail too much, because it'll make it so you can't get these on across the top. What I'm gonna do is just start from the inside. Probably start from this bolt, go 1, 2 on the bottom. Then I probably come to the corners, just like you would normally do a head, like you would torque a head. Yeah, I go 1 at the top, then bottom. Then I may come to this one, let that be 3, then 4, then 5, 6 is over there. 7, 8 will be here, and 9, 10 down there, then 11, 12 right here on the front, and 13, 14 back on the back. That's the torque pattern I'm gonna go with. I'm gonna use my electric wrench to snug them all up. This one right here is the only one that's gonna give you a lot of trouble. I got the oil line loose, so I got a little play there, but not much play to get to it. But that's the one that gave me trouble, and I had to use a wrench to break. They're 10mm bolts. They don't require a whole lot of torque, but still, I broke them all with a 1/4. I'll probably tighten them all up with my 3/8, and that'll be it. I don't remember hearing the torque specs in the video from Keys Automotive, which might be a little different for the 6 Sport, but I'm gonna err on the side of caution and do what most things require is torque sequence. I'm gonna torque it down to at least hand tight, or tight like you would torque your spark plugs, and that should be it. Should be good. Shouldn't have any leaks. As long as you didn't mess up your gasket or anything, you should be good. Alright, just finished torquing everything down. Again, like I said, I torqued it down as if I was doing spark plugs. This is what I use, so you know I can't put but so much torque to a 1/4 inch, then snap anything. You should be able to do the same thing. That should be plenty enough tight, because when I took it apart, I didn't even use the 3/8 to break it. I broke it all with a 10mm ratchet wrench for that one, and then my 1/2 inch, my 1/4 inch to break everything loose. And I feel like I got it tighter than what it was when I originally took it apart. So now I'm finna go about doing all the oil lines with my hex keys and getting those done, and the turbo support bracket up on the roof. So I'll come back after I finish those. Alright, few things to note when reinstalling the turbo bracket. I'll say take it off and then just reinstall once you get the new turbo in, because this one actually got hung on the some of the stuff on the side of the block. But other than that, it took me a little while. I took the downpipe off, as I mentioned earlier. That helped give me the room. Set the little rail, pre-installed it. That held the turbo up. Other than that, everything is going back together now just fine. Fishing for boats is a thing too. I've started reassembling all of the vacuum hoses and stuff, and part of the charge pipe. I got the heat shield I'm about to put on, then I'll pretty much be done in this area and put all the connections back. So that's where I'm at right now. I'll come back after I put heat shield on, charge pipe and stuff like that. I wish I can start it and check for leaks, but the ECU is still off for tuning right now. So once that gets back, I'll probably come back down and check it for leaks when he started. Okay, so charge pipe is back in. All I got left is the intake and the air box. Also, heat shield is back in. So everything looks normal and in place. A few more things and this is done. Alright, intake is back on. It's properly mounted, secured, not cracked or broken. Also good down there. That is back on. Everything is hooked back up. I put the clamps for the intake on this side. Can't really get it on camera. I put it on this side. It's easily accessible. For it, all I got left to do is put this last brace on right there. That'll be it. Thank y'all for tuning in. See y'all next time. whether it be this car or another car. But see y'all next time. Don't forget, like, comment, and subscribe. I'm out. One gun out.